James Twin for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so let's talk some Diego Pacheco because he's got a fight coming up tomorrow at the War Grounds at the StubHub Center or Dignity Health Sports Park, whatever they call it now. He's fighting there tomorrow against former world title challenger Sulecki, the Polish fighter, the one that fought Demetrius Andrade. I'm going to say it was like 4 or 5 years ago. Lost in his world title fight against him. But, been at a good level for a long time in boxing. Obviously now he's past his prime. He's at a more advanced age now. But nonetheless, a good, credible step-up fight for Diego Pacheco. Now, that being said, I think the more interesting storyline for Pacheco isn't necessarily this fight. It's more so about what could be next for him if he handles his business and wins as he's expected to. Because right now, as it stands, Diego Pacheco at this moment in time is your #1 ranked WBO Super Middleweight Contender. And we know that the champion for the WBO at Super Middleweight is Canelo Alvarez. We know that Canelo Alvarez was once the undisputed champion, but got stripped because he didn't want to defend against the IBF mandatory William Scholes. So we've been seeing Canelo Alvarez give a lot of young fighters paydays, opportunities like Jaime Munguia, now Edgar Berlanga, who he's also expected to beat and beat pretty soundly. But the question is, will Canelo consider giving Diego Pacheco a shot? Because he's ranked highly. Diego Pacheco, it feels like he's really older than he is because, he's 23, and we all saw his pro debut when he fought on the Gaio Estrada Rungvisai undercard. That was 5 years ago. In those 5 years, he's gotten in 21 fights, so he's been one of the most active American fighters on a year-by-year basis since he turned pro. That's a fact. So he's 23 years old, growing up pretty fast. Now he's got like a whole family now, kid, wife, dog, whole 9 yards. Congrats to him on that. But will Canelo Alvarez give Diego Pacheco a shot? And I'll be honest, I've heard a lot of people say they don't think Canelo Alvarez would fight Diego Pacheco. I think Canelo Alvarez would fight Diego Pacheco. I'm going to tell you why he would fight Diego Pacheco. For one, we know Canelo Alvarez loves his people being the Mexican people, his culture being the Mexican culture. Diego Pacheco is definitely part of La Raza. There's no doubts about that. But they also have history. Pacheco was Canelo's sparring partner for some of his training camps. I can't remember for which fight exactly, but I just remember they were sparring partners at one point. So the fact that they have a personal relationship, Pacheco has never disrespected Canelo Alvarez or anything like that. He's never put him down. And the funny thing is, the funny thing about it is, Diego Pacheco is a fighter that does work with Jose Benavidez, so he also has been Diego Benavidez' sparring partner, so it kind of puts him in a rock and a hard place. But I do think this could be a fight that winds up getting made if both these guys handle business in the next fights. And I like Pacheco. I don't know if he'd have the IQ to deal with a guy like Canelo. I don't think he would, to be honest with you. I think he's still, I don't want to say he's not ready, but I just think that one thing about Diego, and I've been high on him for a long time. I even call him Eddie Hearn's best American prospect at one point, in which he still has to validate. Because right now the only Matchroom USA prospect that's won a world title from that original class of Ofer Jones III, Nikita Abibi, Raymond Ford, Mark Castro, and Diego Pacheco. It's only been Raymond Ford, and Raymond Ford wasn't champion for a very long time. He was only champion for 89 days. So he can still prove that. Maybe Canelo Alvarez, maybe Pacheco gets mandated to fight Canelo Alvarez, and Canelo doesn't find that fight attractive and vacates the belt. And in that scenario, just to kind of think ahead here, if Canelo Alvarez were to vacate the WBO title for whatever reason, because he didn't want to fight Diego Pacheco, then Diego Pacheco would have to fight either Eric Bosnian, who's fighting Jaime Munguia soon, or Christian and Billy, who's ranked #3. So if he doesn't fight Canelo, he's going to have to fight like an Billy, a Bosnian, you know, a guy that you would consider and deem to be higher risk, low reward. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. I think, like Canelo Alvarez has said it many times, like he feels in his heart of hearts that he's fought enough fights that people wanted to see, to where now he's in a privileged position, and he reaches that place in boxing where his name, his popularity, his brand, so to speak, it supersedes the world title, and the sanctioning body recognizes the champion. Basically meaning that, you know, Canelo Alvarez, the fighter, he makes the title. The title at this point no longer makes Canelo. And that's the approach, and that's the mindset he's approaching things with. And so, you know, we'll see how it goes. But I think whether he fights Canelo or Bosnian or Billy, I think Diego Pacheco still needs to work some things out, because I think in that last fight against Sean McCallum, you know, there were some things I've heard said from Jose Benavidez Sr. that Diego Pacheco didn't look that well against Sean McCallum because he had a new kid and he was adjusting to being a dad for the first time. And, you know, he still won. It wasn't like it was a close fight or controversial. He won clearly. He just didn't look like the sensational fighter that I have talked up these years on True School Sports. So I'm looking for a rebound. You know, I actually think that's a fair excuse. That's a fair excuse. You know, because he's young. Diego Pacheco is super young. He's barely just now old enough to drink, and he had a kid and all that. So it's a lot to get used to. It's life coming at you pretty fast. So we'll give him a pass. If it was like a controversial fight where you got to get decisions, then maybe we're not so lenient. But he has to perform against Sulecki, and he has to show growth, because when I watched the fight McCallum, the impression I got was that Diego Pacheco, for as talented as he is, he may not have gears. Like, you know, there's fighters that are good, but they don't have another gear they can get to in the ring. They fight their style, they fight their fight, and sometimes they may run into a fighter who's not as talented as them, but has things in their style that can make them look bad or make them have an off night. And they don't have another gear. They don't have another level of intensity they can get to show a clear separation and gap in class between them and an inferior opponent. And that's what I saw in the McCallum fight. So I'm looking for Diego Pacheco to, God willing, go in there and put on a good performance. And, you know, really show the world that, you know, hey, I'm here and I'm ready for a world title, whether it's with Canelo or Bosnian or Billy or Jaime Munguia, because those are the kind of guys I think he's going to be gearing at fighting if he's not fighting Canelo Alvarez. So that's my those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on Pacheco and his career at this moment in time. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about Diego Pacheco and his career and where he's heading? And do you think Canelo Alvarez will give him a shot? I think Canelo Alvarez would give him a shot just because of their history. Maybe Canelo Alvarez becomes petty, and he feels that because he's associated with Benavidez, he doesn't want to even give Jose Benavidez or the Benavidez camp the satisfaction of getting a payday. So it might be a guilty or by association type thing. Who knows? But we know Canelo Alvarez is going to do what he wants. You know, he said it very eloquently. He says, I can do whatever I want, and I'm Mexican. So he's going to do whatever he wants, and he's going to, you know, move as he sees fit, because as Turkey Al-Sheikh found out recently, you know, Canelo Alvarez, whether you love him or whether you hate him, he moves the needle in boxing. So it is what it is. You gotta just take it for what it is. So let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canada, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.